Yo, what's up, ladies? This is Alex from Mindful Attraction 2.0. I need to know if the audio is working, if the audio is working the right way right now. So if you hear my audio, say mic is working, right? So I can know and continue talking. But yeah, man, like it's been a long few days, man. It's been a long few days. By the way, if my mic is working, just say mic is working. I just yo yo look, man. I gotta get myself a beer, man. Cause it's been a long. Oh, fuck! God damn! Don't go up here. Ooh. Cause it's been a long, long weekend. Oh my goodness, it happened. Anyways, so I was without my phone this whole goddamn weekend, and let me make sure this is right. Okay. And and because of that, I couldn't. I was like, you know what? Let me chill out because my phone is coming. Because my old phone broke. Like my old phone, the what you call it? The screen stopped working for my old phone, right? And in addition to that shit, my old phone fucked up my SIM card, right? So not only did I have a phone, my SIM card wasn't working, so I couldn't even transfer it to another phone. So then I was like, all right, cool. Let me order a new phone. I ordered a new phone, and guess what? This phone doesn't take any SIM cards. You put it in a SIM card and it doesn't activate. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I was so frustrated. Oh my goodness. Then I was like, you know what? Let me go get a new phone. All right. I went and ordered a new phone. I was like, let me go get a phone for cheap so I could maybe fix a SIM card. Long story short, none of that shit happened. None of that shit happened, right? Now, thank God I went on Craigslist today, right? And what was it at? I got myself an iPhone, right? But there's a thing though, is that I was gonna return this phone, right? I was gonna return it. And there's something about these Xperia phones. They're a very beautiful phone. Externally, it looks nice, right? But they have a knack to break easily, specifically in the fucking middle. Every phone that I have from Xperia broke in the middle. Every single one of them. Every single one of them broke through the middle. So you can't even use it. You can't even use it. You can't even use it. I'm returning this piece of shit, man. Like I didn't even do anything, and it broke through the middle, like nothing. It's like you say, you know what? It's time to buy a new phone, and it just breaks right before I got this phone. So what I'm gonna do? I gotta return this piece of shit, man. But yo, like it just frustrates me, man. Sometimes, yo, it just does. It just does. Like it's just so complicated. I'm losing. Anyways, so what's the whole point about this, right? The whole point is this: is that I didn't know how attached I was to my phone. We don't know how attached we are to things. We think we're happy, but underneath the surface, right? We're still attached to those things. So how do you know that you're attached? When you lose them. Notice what happens when you lose certain things. Notice what happens when you feel disappointed about something, when you miss something. Notice how you react to loss, and notice how you react to when you gain things. For example, like when I bought this iPhone, right? The fuck? All right, it is. When I got my iPhone, right? It felt good, right? It felt good, and I was like, yeah, I got my new iPhone. And because of that, you know that feeling you get from a new phone, like, oh, I'm gonna be so happy with this phone, right? And you feel like that you feel like literally euphoria. You're like, oh my goodness, it feels so good, right? That's the attachment we have. The reason why is because we attach our sense of self to these things. Sometimes you don't need a phone. Sometimes you just want to feel good. Like I just wanted to feel comfortable. I wanted to feel like, oh, finally. I wanted to relieve the stress that I had. So my inner state was tied up to my phone. But even better, my inner state was tied up to well, for example, like when you get a phone, right, and because you haven't used it for a long time and it was turned off, I was excited because I was like, you know what? When I get my phone, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of text messages. You know what happens, right? When you get a new phone, right, and suddenly because you got the new phone, you get all those messages that you didn't get, right? I was excited about that, right? I was excited. I did that shit, and when I turned it on, I'm like, wait a minute, something's wrong with the phone because I wasn't getting any text messages. You know, I was expecting like a shit ton. Nothing, yo. Nobody messaged me throughout the whole time. My mom did, and like some people, but I didn't. It wasn't as I expected, so it was kind of disappointing. The lady was like, "You said you were getting a whole bunch of text messages." I was like, "Yeah, I'm waiting for these," and she was like, "Where are they?" I'm like, "I'm waiting for them too." Fuck you, bitch! You put so much pressure on me. So the whole point about this is that you got to notice. Sometimes you don't notice you have a subtle level of anxiety. You know, you don't notice how attached you are to these things. It's because they make life easier for us, and as a result, we attach our sense of self to these things, and that's a big problem, because what tends to happen is that our consciousness goes right into this. We will be right here relaxing, but our minds will be fixated on our phones. Where's my phone? Who's messaging me? What's up? What's going on? You see, your consciousness, your awareness goes from being here to the phone. So that's why you always got to be looking. That's why your mind is always on the phone. If you lose your phone, you feel anxiety. If you haven't seen your phone in a couple minutes, you want to see it. That's because you are attached to it. So what you have to do is to detach yourself, is to notice yourself going on panicking when you lose your phone. Observe the anxiety that comes from your phone. Observe the dopamine, the excitement you get when you get a new text message. Observe it. Observe how it feels like to want to see your text messages. All you have to do is bring conscious awareness to those little subtle emotions that you feel on a consistent basis. For example, you know when you don't know that you're stressed out. You ever been to work and you had a long day at work, but you were busy, right? And then you got home and you're like, oh my God, I didn't know I was so stressed out. You just didn't know you were stressed out, right? That subtle stress that you feel is the same subtle attachment you have to things. You just don't notice because you're so busy with your train of thought, the compulsive desire to think, that you just don't notice what's going on in the present moment. So what you have to do is slow down and consistently ask yourself, what's going on inside of me right now? If I would have asked that question, throughout the whole day today, because today I was off my rockers today. If I would have asked that question, I would have slowed down. And the thing is, you just don't do it once, because when you do it once, you slow down, but then you return. You have to do it, slow down, relax. You return to the thinking, and then you notice yourself returning again, and you slow down again, right? It has to be more on a consistent basis. And that's what I wasn't doing. And those are things that happen. We have subtle stress that we just don't notice. And those subtle things are the things that hurt us the most. So you always got to be knowing, always got to be observing the underlying stress, underlying desires, underlying fears, and be aware of them. You don't need to change them. The only thing you need to do is become aware of it. Notice it. Notice how it feels to want things to happen. Notice how it feels to not want certain things to happen. Because in that desire to avoid and the desire to gain is your attachment. And all you have to do is observe your desires and fears. Observe what you desire. Observe where you derive your sense of self, where you derive your pride from. Observe it. And notice it. Notice the source. And then feel yourself observing it and ask yourself, who's the one who's observing? It can't be the emotion. It cannot be the brain, because the brain is what perceives things. The brain is what creates the objects of your awareness. So you can't be the brain. Then what the hell are you? And that's when you notice, I can't find myself. Because if I look at any objects, if I look at my thoughts, since I'm looking at my thoughts, I can't be my thoughts. So what the fuck am I then? I can't look at the emotion because I'm observing the emotion. So who's the one who's observing it? Who is it? You just the awareness. That's all you are, just awareness, right? That's all you are, awareness. It's nothing. It doesn't have any physical qualities, but it's what animates your life. You see this? You see my phone, right? You see this, right? See this? You notice how these two things are powering up, right? Right? Different phones, right? Different matter, different kind of matters, molecular structure, but same electricity. The same electricity that powers this is the same electricity that powers this. Now, they may have a different structure. They may have a different CPU, different megabytes for selfie, you know? They make, but the thing is, what makes it everything in common is what? The electricity that gives you life. Now, just because it doesn't turn on doesn't mean that the electricity doesn't work. The electricity can be giving it life, which is it might be connected, but if certain things in the phone is not correct, the electricity cannot manifest itself through what? Through turning it on. That's what life is. So in reality, what gives it life is the electricity, but what allows life to manifest is the right parts. That's what your brain is. Your brain is just like the phone, right? We're all different phones, but at the end of the day, what we are is what animates it. Now, this animation is not felt in a thing. Like we looked at earlier, we couldn't find ourselves. We couldn't point to ourselves because everywhere we pointed, we reflected back to us. So who we are is just the awareness. So that means me, you, everybody else, who am I pointing to, right? Everybody else, we are all the same thing. We are all the electricity that animates us. We just happen to be a current on a specific body. That's all we are. A current on a specific body. As soon as the phone dies, guess what? Doesn't mean the electricity died. It's still out there. It's still out there. The phone is dead, right? That's going to deteriorate, but the electricity, the animation, the force, what gives it life, the awareness, is still there, but it only needs what? It needs a recipient. It needs a brain. A brain with the right structures for it to manifest itself. I think that's called the deepest part of the brain. I forgot what that's called. I'm not too into that, but that's the part that if that's gone, there's no consciousness. That's very similar to the motherboard in a computer. Every other part could be fucked up. The hard drive could be wrong, the RAM could be wrong, but without the motherboard, it cannot turn on. The motherboard in us is the part of our brain that like the deepest part. I forgot what that called. That's the part that really gives you life, you know. But that's one of those things, yo. I was eating Chinese food. I was actually eating Chinese food. I was like, I would rather not eating in front of a camera is not that good. It's not that pleasing, no. But yeah, the reptilian brain. Yeah, there you go. That's a part in us that if it's gone, maybe our things are. But it's a part where they say that's what the seat of the soul is. I forgot what it's called. That's how it is. You know what's crazy, right? You know what's crazy? A very similar analogy to what life is. That if you have this phone, right? In this phone, you could change the screen. Oops. 1 second. It's live stream, right? There's no ethics here. Hello? What's up? What's up? You sent it to my email? All right, 1 second. Let me check. 1 second. Yeah. Wait 1 second. Let me check. Okay, I got it. Mm-hmm. All right, just yeah. Just send me the where the stop is, and you know the train stop, and I'll let you know. Okay. All right. I'll call you then. All right. I'll let you know in 30 minutes. 30 minutes. All right. All right. 1 second, guys. Okay. So as I was saying, right? So this phone, right? You can easily take away you can easily take away the screen, right? You can take away the audio, right? Just like our brains. We could get a new fucking heart. We could get new eyes, bionic eyes. We could literally replace certain parts of our bodies, just like we could replace this. But at what point can you replace certain parts of your body to the point that it's not you anymore? At what point can you replace your eyes, your nose, your face, certain parts of your brain, right? Like, for example, like when half of your brain is taken away, because there's some people who only function with half of their brains, they're not half of themselves, right? They're still there. They may not have certain functions, but they're still themselves. So who is that self, right? Isn't that crazy? Like for a certain part of you, even half of your body can be fucking destroyed. And you're still there. You're suffering, but you're still there. So as you can see, there's one part of you about you that just doesn't change. And once again, the animating force, the consciousness, the awareness, that's you. And when you become identified with your awareness rather than the objects of your awareness, like your thoughts, emotions, desires, fears, and all that sort of stuff, you become aligned with who you are. And when you notice the awareness, the objects of your awareness is going to want to grab it, is going to want to take away your attention to them so that you can become identified. Like saying, look at your problems. So it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating. As soon as you notice your problems, observe what's going on right now. Am I trying to feel better? I am trying to feel better. And suddenly you're back. See? And then suddenly another problem arises. Oh, fuck, my phone sucks ass. What am I trying to feel better? Boom, you're back. All right? And that's how it's done, right? But yeah, anyways, this is Alex from mindfulattraction.org. Look, man, if you guys, I personally, I get very annoyed when people say it's a blank screen, all right? And because it just makes you think no one's listening. That really does annoy me. So if you feel like it's a blank screen, you got to go on your end and see how you can fix it. Because when that happens and I read those comments, it makes me say, what the fuck, no one's listening. Like, that really does annoy me. I'm not kidding with you guys. So just if it's on your part, double check on your end. Double check on your end before putting it, because then that fucks me over. That fucks up the thing. I'm like, well, no one's listening. That really does. I'm not kidding. So just when you say something like that, just make sure you confirm on your part before you comment here, because that shit, that I don't like that when people do that. Yeah, I'm drinking too, so don't get me angry. Anyway, that's it, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.